Trent Alexander is officially leaving Liverpool. It's done. It's over. It's everything that we already knew was happening. Carlos Ancelotti might not be leaving Real Madrid. And are Chelsea actually going to make Champions League next year? All that and more on this week's episode of Fullest Peace. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what we're doing.
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's just a nice solid weekend here. We're getting into the business ends now. This is where it's everyone's pushing for the last few Champions League European spots.
I mean, it's the home stretch at its fullest.
Yeah, this is what we want. When we're really in the thick of it. Really watching all these games come at you, seeing who's going to prevail. So, yeah. Well, let's get into it here. We're just gonna hop in like what we do in the last couple weeks. We've been talking about how the race for the basically European spots, specifically
it's a top five race. It's a top five race.
Yeah, specifically in the Prem. We've been focusing in on this, and mostly we've been talking about really like the spots from like 3 through 7 as the kind of there's that jumbled mess of teams there. Although Arsenal has gotten into that mess too, so we'll get into it. So basically, starting Friday, City played Wolves. 1-0. City did what they needed to do in this game. I'll say, if this was a few weeks ago, this should have been like easy pickings for City. But to be fair, Wolves was on a 6-game winning streak in the Prem. So they were kind of on a hot streak there, and Wolves has some really good players. Mateus Cunha is a guy that I think lately he's been in the transfer kind of rumors. United's been really big on him. I really like him. I think he'd be a great 10 for United. But anyway, De Bruyne scored in this game, and basically City jumped to third as a result. So ever inching closer to Arsenal, who's only 3 points ahead of them now. That would be really funny if City actually catches up to Arsenal and takes them for second place. I think that'd just be freaking hysterical. City's worst season, and Arsenal still can't beat them. The only other fun tidbit out of this was De Bruyne has now scored 30 Premier League goals since turning 30. And he's the only players to score more for City aged 30 or older. Can you take a guess on which two?
I'm gonna go Sergio Aguero. No, Sergio Aguero. This is above 30.
From when they turned 30 to when they got basically left City. So
I'll go Sergio Aguero 1. I think he left after he was 30, and then tell me the last one. I can't think of it.
Yaya Toure.
So obvious.
Those are the only two players that have scored 30 Premier League goals after they turned 30 years old. So, for City. So yeah, fun little trivia question there.
And he's being linked now. Apparently, Inter Miami, no interest in the man. But I have been seeing Chicago Fire are very interested in him. I think the MLS move is going to be what happens.
Probably. Apparently, like, the MLS has discovery rights, and that's kind of like their first claim to speak with them. Like, Paul Pogba is
DC United,
maybe in
apparently
talks with DC, but whatever. We're not an MLS pod, so. All right. So moving to Saturday's slate. Villa 1, Fulham 0. Fulham did play with 10 men because they ran out of subs, and one of their 11 guys got hurt. So that's fun. Aston Villa basically kept themselves in the Champions League race for this. Basically, Yuri Tielemans had a big header from a corner in the 12th minute, and that was basically the only thing that really kind of clear-cut chance, and Villa held on. I mean, this is really what Villa has to play for. They're trying to make sure they get back-to-back Champions League qualifications. That would be awesome for them, and pretty much keep their project on the correct timeline here. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We'll have to look at the fixtures to see how this is going to all play out. But Uh, I think since we've been covering this, Villa has been pretty much stuck at either seventh or sixth. They have not jumped into like 3 through 5. So they've always been at the tail end of the pack there. The other game here was Brighton 1 and Newcastle United also won. Now, Brighton was actually winning this game for majority of it. They were up 1-0. Let me double check something for you. Yeah, basically, yeah, it was off of a damn burn deflection, 28th minute by young Kuba Minte, who was also a Newcastle player last year, but sold him for FFP reasons. But yeah, basically Alexander Isak's late penalty snatched that pretty much crucial point, so keeps Newcastle firmly in fourth there. Do you want to hear another fun bit, another fun little tidbit out of this game?
Love to.
You would have never known this. This is like for the big, deep statistical nerds. Like no one would ever think about this, but I thought it was kind of fun. So, since Brighton have been promoted, which hasn't been too long, I think they've been up for like 5 or 6 years now, maybe a little bit more. Newcastle have remained winless in 8 Premier League away games against Brighton. They have drawn 5, lost 3. That is the most times they have visited an opponent without winning there. Kind of crazy, right? Like
Just has their number.
For some, like, look, I know the Amex can be a tricky spot, like, for a lot of teams. It's literally the only thing in that part of town. Like, it's just like this empty field, and then there's this nice, like, 20,000 capacity stadium. And I mean, I get it's on the south coast, so maybe the warm weather kind of messes up everyone a little bit. I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny. The other interesting bit is not so good for Brighton here, but Brighton have conceded 8 goals past the 89th minute in the league this season. Only Southampton, with 11, have suffered more instances. So that's another thing about. I think this is the most little bit frustrating thing about Brighton, is that everyone talks about their Moneyball approach and how they have all these really fun, like exciting young players, like João Pedro, Carlos Baleba, and what's his name, Matoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they have a bunch of young, cool, fun guys like that, but they never seem to like close out games or like be the consistent, thorn to a lot of the big team sides that we want them to be. But
it's the last 2 minutes they can't seem to hold on.
Yeah. And then this game actually happened today. Palace and Forest basically tried 1-1. Forest claimed a valuable point to still keep them in there because Forest have been dropping. They have been not good. I think ever since that international break in March, and since play has resumed, they've been terrible. Like they have not.
And it's a shame because I was really liking. I love the good underdog story. I like them doing well. I mean, they were literally in title contention for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Now they're dropping out of Europe.
Yeah, like I love those are like some of my favorite stories. Whenever like there's like that random ass team that like comes out of nowhere and like gets a European spot or like
wins the league. Shout out Leicester.
Yeah, like shout out.
Literally just wins the league.
Like yeah, we're gonna do it this year. We never thought about doing it any other year, but yeah, this is the year that we're gonna do it. But yeah, they drew 1-1. I think there was Murillo scored for Forest shortly after Eberiche scored a penalty off of the goalkeeper for Forest. I think got a yellow card or something. So yeah, hold on tight, Marinakis, the owner for Forest. Hold on tight for all the Forest fans too, because God knows, if they still end up with Europa League, that's still probably a win. Obviously, Champions League would be like
Europa is huge for them still.
Yeah, I still think Europa League is a great pool for them, but
I mean, finances alone, that's a big plus.
100%. But talk about the big game. I know you've been anxiously waiting as I was going through all of that.
I mean, I think it was game of the weekend. I think it's safe to say Chelsea-Liverpool, an unbelievable 3-1 win from my boys in blue. I am just as shocked as I think everyone else was, because Liverpool were quote unquote rotating players, but we still had Cody Gakpo, we still had Jota, Salah still playing, Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold. We are still Alisson and goal. We are still seeing their staples. We are still seeing their big hitters, and it's not like they for lack of them trying that we win 3-1. We really put in the work. I mean, Fernandes scoring in the first 3 minutes was huge just to get the ball rolling. I turned it on. I barely got the game started, sipping my coffee, and I just see Enzo going and scoring. I'm like, oh, well, this wasn't expected. We did get lucky with an own goal in the second half, and then guess Van Dijk putting us a little bit of a scare, that 2-0 lead towards the end of the game. But shout out Cole Palmer, netting in a penalty after not scoring since January. His first goal since January.
You're so lucky there's more chaos that's been happening at your club, because no one's been talking. I feel like no one's talked about how, I wouldn't say it's a huge drop off, but it's been a drop off from last season. Last season he was in the running for best player in the league, and now
there was definitely a drop off, and I think it accounts for a lot of things. One, team performance in general low. Mm-hmm. Two, last season he was playing primarily on the right, where I think is kind of his more preferred position. He gets a little bit more free flow time to go, and also the biggest thing is he gets man marked every game. They know he's the center of our team. So if you can lock him out, that's a big that's a big thorn in our side. So it's definitely played a role in it. But I mean, this is we played how I feel this team is meant to play, and if we could play every week like this, it'd be huge. I think Moises Caicedo is one of the best players in the league. It's unbelievable. He was playing at right back, but moves up to it's such an interesting way. He moves from right to center, and then Enzo moves from CDM up into a cam position, just to add to the attack. And it just, the way everything flows, it's kind of what our biggest problem has been with Chelsea is we have a plan, and if that plan doesn't work, we're cooked. Mm-hmm. But it worked this time around. I mean, look, listen, I love our midfield. I love this. I love a few of our key players. There's still some kinks to work out, but a 3-1 win against Liverpool is so massive right now for us.
Oh, this was one of the big ones that you had to get a result. Not alone win it, but
if we got a tie, I would have been thrilled. A 3-1 win, fantastic. Because this was without a doubt our hardest matchup. We have Newcastle, United, and Nottingham Forest left, and this was the one I was most worried about. This was the one I was expecting to lose. So getting a win out of everything is massive. Now, we need to that doesn't mean I hope we don't slack off now going into these last three.
You can't be sipping the Kool-Aid here.
Yes, we're still the same Chelsea from the season, and that's not a compliment.
Now, are you playing Newcastle? Newcastle's the next game, is that right?
Yes, we play Newcastle next away on Sunday.
That's going to be tough. It's
going to be a tough game.
Up at St. James Park. And you guys are fighting for that. For those last couple spots, it's gonna be raucous right there.
And then 5 days later, we have the Fullest Peace Derby.
The Fullest Peace Derby, which it's gonna be we're gonna have a rotated side, because all we care about is the Europa, and by then we will know whether or not United has made it to the final or not. So
yeah,
we might have some starters in that game, but we'll see when that comes around. But
yeah,
I mean, look, you guys, you know what you did? You really were good host to Liverpool. You gave them the nice guard of honor there.
As we should. It'd be crazy if we didn't.
Yeah, of course. So that was nice to you guys, and then you did the polite thing and thrashed them 3-1.
We got to humble them a little bit,
Yeah. Um,
But I mean, that puts Chelsea solidly in 5th place right now. We are sandwiched between Nottingham Forest and Newcastle.
yeah. Before
I mean, it's just gonna be close across the board.
just kind of recapping the standings here from the weekend results. So obviously Liverpool champs, 82 points. Arsenal are 67 points. City on 64 points. They've been sneakily climbing up the rankings. And like I said, it would be hysterical if City actually overtakes Arsenal for second place. It would be, in Mikel Arteta's words, a disgrace.
A disgrace.
So Newcastle United on 63 points. Chelsea in 5th on 63 points. Funny thing we didn't talk about there. You guys are also tied on goal difference with plus 21. That would be important coming into this game for you guys, for both of you guys. We talked about the kind of Forest dismal form. They're on 61 points, and then Villa with 60 points as well. I think I said, what did I say? We'll have to look back on when the season's done. We'll have to look back at how we said the top 4 will finish. But yeah, everyone's all played the same amount of games, so 3 games left, and we'll see how it goes. But circling back, the big news that came out of this game was Trent leaving.
We got the official, the sitting down YouTube video apologizing to the club and announcing that he's leaving. It's the classic. You see dear fans and he just sits down for a YouTube video, you know this shit's about to be heartbreaking for the club.
Yeah, worst kept secret that everyone pretty much knew about since like January.
It's been almost a year, I think. I feel like we've been talking about this since last summer too.
Yeah, there was we were talking about, well, everyone kind of was low key bringing it up, and there was all because who was it? Him and Jude Bellingham were like buddying up in like Miami or something, and everyone was like, "Oh, is he probably going to recruit for Madrid?" Yeah, you bet your ass he is.
Yeah, just not surprising at all. We haven't got an official Madrid announcement yet, but I'm sure that'll be happening. This pretty much like borderline the second the transfer window opens, if anything, if not sooner.
Yeah. I mean,
he's probably classy enough to wait till the end of the season before making an official announcement. But I mean, match made in heaven. I mean, Madrid. I'm sure Madrid will find room for him, without a doubt in my mind. I mean, he's arguably the best in his position.
Yeah, I mean, so he's probably without really paying a crap ton in a transfer fee. Yes, he's worth the money.
I mean, he's paying nothing in a transfer fee.
You're paying nothing, which is great.
That's about the best deal you get.
He comes in how old is he? He's freaking
26.
He's 26, so he's pretty much in the prime of his career. He's, and Madrid have a hole at one of the fullback positions, especially in right back, because Danny Carvajal getting older. He also got hurt this year too, so that's always been a position.
I mean, also comparing Carvajal to Alexander-Arnold is it's not even a fair
at this point right now. It's not.
It's over. It's. I mean,
Danny Carvajal like 5 years ago, taking Danny Carvajal, but but I think this would be a good move for Trent too, because I was thinking about it. La Liga is not as a physically demanding league. Still demanding, but not as overly physical with the strength and the constant back and forth running and everything too with the sprints. And he's more of a technical player. I feel like good passing, good deliveries too. Those long balls from him to Mbappe, going to be awesome for Real Madrid. The only thing that's going to be worrisome is when they play Barcelona and Lamine Yamal and who knows, Rafinha, or if they bring in Nico Williams and they catch him out of position and a defensive liability. That's going to be the worst part. is
Let's see.
when the Madrid fans find out he's a defensive liability and then they start whistling at him. That's going to be the worst part about this.
Madrid fans turning on their own players. That sounds very out of character.
Yeah, totally out of character.
It's never happened.
Never happened. Can we talk about how it's weird for like ex-legends to like claim that they're like disappointed when, because Jamie Carragher said this, and not trying to pick a bone with Jamie Carragher or any of his comments, because I could care less about really what he says, but like to say you're disappointed because you think like he thinks that because this team is like could do really big things, and with this manager with Arne Slot they can do big things and be one of the best teams in Europe for like the next 5 or 6 years. There's no guarantee in that. I mean,
the whole thing just reeks of like bias. Like Jamie Carragher, take a breather, brother. Like he won everything he possibly could with the club.
2 prems, a champs.
I mean, he owes nothing. He's 26 in the prime of his career. He's paid his dues. Also, this team's aging. Like, you know what? Like, he doesn't know what this team's going to be like in the next couple years. And he has an opportunity to walk on to, okay, yes, not doing so hot, but on paper, the best team in the world.
They're the biggest club in the world. It's
not even a competition.
It's not even close. They're the biggest club in the world.
Saying I'm disappointed is so whack.
It really is. Like, also, yeah, like it's not like he's leaving. He's leaving because his contract's up, and he gets to go to like, if he didn't get to go to like if he wasn't going to it's literally 3 teams. Like if you're at one of the big Premier League teams, I feel like there's only like 3 clubs that you leave for, and that's Barca, PSG, or Bayern. It's one of those 3 typically. At least over the last decade, that was it. But I mean, he's making the right move here. I think
it's not even like a question.
I think it's a good thing that like, and for like a lot of English players, like they never really get the chance to go abroad. I think this is like awesome. You know, you don't see it too often. Number one, because they get paid really well in the Prem, but like the fact that you can get paid just as well and play for the biggest team, it's awesome. So that was it. That's all. We can move on now.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Carragher, take a load off, brother.
Yeah.
Moving on to Champions League though. I almost called it 100%.
You did.
I nailed one. I kind of nailed one. Starting Arsenal PSG. I mean, I was wrong on that one. I thought it was going to be Arsenal's day.
Yeah, you were very confident about that. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've been riding this PSG team since that Liverpool tie. And I just think right now, like they're grooving. Their style of play, it grooves. Now, basically, Dembele scored early, 4th minute. It was a beautiful 26 pass move to get to the box. And then basically he slots it in. It's like I'm watching on the broadcast. It was like one of those deceiving like angles where he shoots it and you know it's going far post, but it's either going to be one of 2 things. It was either going to go wide or maybe the goalkeeper was going to get it, but he somehow snuck it past David Raya, which I was totally surprised about. So I thought early on that was going to be like, all right, this is really like PSG is just going to dominate this. But then after that, actually before that, that's Dembele's also 33rd goal of the season. Kind of crazy. Like he's been a goal scoring machine. I know it's League 1, but he's been scoring a lot of important goals in the Champions League. So, yeah, I mean, I thought basically after that early goal, PSG was going to dominate. I will say Arsenal did come back, especially in the like middle portion of the first half and then the early parts of the second half. They were clearly momentum and possession was on their side and dominating there. But they did miss some opportunities. What was it? They were denied a goal by Mikel Merino due to VAR. He was offsides. from a set piece, I believe. And kind of from there, basically PSG was able to regain the possession and the momentum, and they just kind of were like, yeah, we're just gonna hold out here and take a 1-goal lead back to the Parc des Princes.
Did you call it VAR?
Yeah, VAR.
VAR, like VAR.
Yeah, VAR.
It's a new one. Don't think I've ever heard anyone call it that.
VAR.
VAR. VAR.
Yeah, VAR.
Sure. No, for sure.
Same thing.
No, definitely.
Tomato. What do you?
Mm-hmm. Do you watch when you're watching people eat? Do you watch ASMR? Do you watch ASMR?
Well, come on.
When you're watching the Baltimore Ravens, you're watching Niffle. Watching the NFL.
No, I'm watching football.
Nah, you're watching Niffle.
No, that's what you're watching.
Yeah, okay, bud. Yeah, coming from the person who's referring to VAR.
You're gonna get You're not watching VAR.
Okay, bud.
You're gonna get mad. You're gonna nitpick me on the thing that everybody hates the most about the goddamn game. I thought you'd be on my side, making fun of it with me.
With VAR for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna call it VAR.
Yeah, one of us is.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We say it at a bar. People be like, "That's kind of funny, actually."
Is that what they're gonna say?
Maybe.
They're gonna look. Some guy's gonna stop mid sip of Guinness.
VAR. Okay.
That might be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You know what? I never heard anyone say VAR, but I kind of like it. That's what they're gonna say.
Absolutely.
After their 8th Guinness.
Yes. No, definitely.
But how do you think this second leg's gonna go?
Now, I don't know. Now I'm kind of leaning PSG side a little bit. I mean, it's hard not to just say PSG off the rip. I mean, they lost. Arsenal lost at home,
2-1 to Bournemouth, comeback fashion too.
Yeah, it might have to. I mean, PSG is having the lead. It's hard to vote against them at this point if they have the momentum going their way.
This is the only thing is PSG's past. We know we've documented PSG's past before about how they.
It's a history of choke jobs is what we're looking at here.
This is the matchup of the choke jobs. Now, the only way I see Arsenal getting back into this is
besides locking the fuck in.
Well, yeah. Besides, that's a given. I feel like when you're back up against the wall, that's it. That's your only option. Get locked the fuck in. But I look at it as they got to come out kind of just like they did in the beginning of the second half, like that middle part where they were clearly the better team and had PSG on their heels. That's the same type of energy and same type of tactic that they got to come in with right when the ball gets kicked around. That's what they have to come with. They're gonna have to play like their lives depended on it. Like there's no coming back, because this might be who knows what happens in the future, but this might be Arsenal's like best chance to make it back to the Champions League final and maybe also win it for God knows how long. Because they never won it, but like actually get back to the final and win this, because we know their other teams are going to come back with a vengeance with trying to get better and staying. And that's not even just talking about the Prem teams. That's talking about the other big European teams that are stumbling right now. So I still think PSG is going to advance, though.
Yeah, I'm putting my vote in their corner. And moving on to the second matchup, one that I did call. It was either going to be a Barca. I said it was either going to be like a 1-0 Barca win, or it was just going to be a slugfest both ways. And God Almighty, did we get a fucking slugfest?
This was crazy. I was thinking about that. How you called it?
3-3. Like that's. I don't know what's better to say, how good the finishing is or how bad the defense was. That's the problem here.
I think it was shocking that there was two. From an interest perspective, I think it's shocking that they went up 2-0, and it was early on. It was like 33 minutes. Marcus Thuram's goal was beautiful, sexy.
In a minute, and just starting off
like a back heel, like the classy, like the classic sexy like back flip or back heel flick, for the goal, like out of nowhere.
I mean, and then getting there's something about getting a I mean, he is a wing back, but getting a brace from Dumfries, from Denzel Washington Dumfries.
Yeah, that over the kick goal, like overhead kick,
Sick.
was like out of freaking nowhere.
He's such I feel like people don't talk about it enough of how consistently like good he is as a player.
He's one of those guys where he, especially for because we support prem teams, he's always like whenever you need like a wing back or like a fullback, he's always the guy that's linked, but like they never put the trigger on him. The only thing he is more offensively oriented than
Yeah.
defensively. So that's probably like that's the only thing I guess I would say is a knock on his game, depending on what you want to use him for. But I mean, the other crazy thing about this was you would have thought that like, all right, at 2-0, like Inter will Inter would probably they go up 2-0. I want to double check.
They did.
They get though 2-0 up.
Yeah, they started off. So it was Dumfries scored in the 21st, and then Lamine Yamal fired back very quickly the 24th minute.
That's what it was. You would so basically,
and then we had a follow up goal for just 14 minutes later from Fernan Torres.
Yeah. So, yeah, you would have thought that Inter being 2-0 up, yeah, basically throwing like two quick boom boom like 1-2s right at Barca, like would make it really difficult to play. Not that, I mean, take it away with fucking the Super Saiyan kid, Lamine Yamal.
I mean, the kid's just amazing. like what else is there to say at this point? It's nothing at this point. Like there's nothing to be said. He's fantastic.
There's something about that picture with him and Messi when he was an infant, and Messi basically
it's crazy.
Just baptizing him. Like you're gonna tell me that didn't have something to do with this?
I mean, he turns 18 this summer. Like, just
you're gonna tell me I'm wrong?
It's insane. I mean, also like I don't want to knock because he scored in the 38th. Fernan is also having such a good season.
Is he really? I feel like he's like because he's like
Barca fans love Fernan.
Ferran Torres, they do?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Oh no, Barca fans have been loving Fernan Torres.
Mm-hmm.
But this team, I feel like it's just such like a stacked. Good.
My bad. No, I thought my screen went black, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know what happened." But no, we're good. We're still recording. We're good.
He's having. Yeah, no, we're fine. He's having a solid. He's having a solid year. He has 10 goals, 3 assists, consistent. He's just coming through. He's coming in and out of this team. Also, my favorite little tidbit, the Golazo show. It was, Thierry Henry was talking to him in Spanish to Lamine Yamal, and he was like, he's like, I'll be at the Clasico. I want your jersey.
Mm-hmm.
First off, imagine Thierry Henry looking at you at 17 years old, being like, I want your jersey after the game. Could you imagine that high? Yeah. And Lamine Yamal gets the perfect response, be like, "That's fine, but I want to trade. I want one of your jerseys." And he's like, "Which one do you want?" He's like, "Which one? Barcelona?" I'm guessing. He's like, "I don't care. Barcelona, France, Arsenal." He's like, "I don't care.
Give me one."
He's like, "I don't care. Whichever."
If I was him, give me that 05-06 away, the yellow one.
See, I was thinking that, but I feel like if you're Lamine Yamal at Barcelona, getting the Barca kit's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, just so sick. I'm really looking forward to this next game. It should be good. I'm still pulling Barca on this one though.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Barca's gonna. I think Barca will pull this out. The power of the San Siro though can be captivating. So you know that they're gonna go. The freaking ultras there are gonna go pretty wild. 80,000 people. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's looking. Apparently, I don't know if he still does. Martinez may have gotten a knock, so I don't know if he's some kind of muscle injury. I don't know if he'll be playing. I'm very curious what the lineup will be tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I know. I think Lewandowski's going to be on the bench as well. They're looking. According to FootMob, the predicted lineup is going to be Ferran Torres up top, then Dani Olmo in the middle, Rafinha on the left, Yamal on the right. Pretty straightforward. De Jong and Pedri in the block there, the two mids, and then Garcia at right back, Araujo and Kubarsi, sorry, 18 years old, crazy. He's playing, and then it looks like they're saying Martinez, but who knows?
Yeah.
Like you said, he might be in. Kunde got hurt. Kunde was a big miss. He's going to be missed here because he might be out for the rest. But maybe he might be back if they make it to the final then. And then it looks like I think Lautaro Martinez is out for Inter. Is that who you were talking about? That Martinez?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. But I don't know. I could also see how this Inter team could just snag a goal and like defend for their life, like their lives depended on it.
And last in big news, arguably the biggest news, some might say.
Oh, did I miss something? I
don't think anyone missed this one because Harry Kane has finally won a trophy.
What? He did it?
A team-centric trophy. Oh?
Let's celebrate.
We're in a crazy bit if you actually did it.
Oh, good for Harry, man.
I mean, we knew it was gonna happen eventually. Honestly, Harry Kane also shot Eric Dyer, just a resurgence of a career.
And look, and now he's gonna go to Monaco, live on the Principality.
Just so much money. Just gonna save so much money. That tax-free lifestyle now.
Oh my god.
Just what a player. But yeah, congrats to Harry Kane. Just put a very, very simple, a black screen for the story with just a trophy emoji.
Good for him. I still think it's hilarious that he went there and did not win anything his first year.
I think everyone in the world, like, everyone loved the memes. I think it's crazy if you're not at least a little happy for Harry Kane winning a trophy. Finally.
You're finally happy, like, all right. If there was maybe any player in the world that deserved a trophy of some significance, like,
it's him.
It's him.
He just stays out of, like, he doesn't, like, cause any trouble. He doesn't, like, talk
Ultimate
shit.
professional.
He just plays, man. He just fucking scores goals and doesn't win trophies, except for now. Now he wins trophies.
Now you can say you won a trophy.
Singular.
Yeah, still playing. So
for
now. But good for Harry Kane.
Good for Harry Kane.
Good for Harry Kane there.
And wrapping things up with a little bit of kit news. Bayern Munich has officially launched their 25-26 away kit, and this is a beauty, Pete.
It is. We've talked. I think what was it last week? We ranked some of the kits that are going to be coming out, and I think this was maybe one of them that we talked about. On the leaks, it didn't look as nice, but now actually seeing the official launch,
yep,
it is a beauty. I actually really like this. This is like a low key, maybe purchase. Might purchase.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Love the monochromatic, and I also think the Team Geist is working very well for it.
It really is. I agree with you. It has like this unique camouflage like design, which camouflage rarely ever works on soccer kits.
Yeah,
but for some reason it's working really well here.
It's supposed to be based off the Bavarian Alps.
Yeah, and it says it's inspired by the architecture of the Allianz Arena, which the arena, I believe it's almost coming up on 20 years, which it's crazy. But out of like a lot of I'm a stadium nerd. The Allianz Arena, even though it's almost coming up on 20 years old, as it was it debuted in the 2006 World Cup. It still feels like it's ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like the exterior with the lights and everything, just and I know like the atmosphere is always great in there, but the 3-tiered stands, 75,000 Bavarians going crazy in there. It's a fantastic stadium. They designed it perfectly. They really did.
No, 100%. And moving on now to some kit manufacturer changes. New Balance back in the game hard now, with some pretty big pickups. Specifically, I'd say the biggest being Bayern Leverkusen. I'm actually more shocked Adidas or Nike didn't pick these up from Castore, but New Balance taking over Bayern Leverkusen also picked up West Ham United and Atlanta. West Ham United big doo-doo right now though, so not as.
But you get into that London market.
It's true.
That's
true.
the other big thing. I think honestly for New Balance here, these are like the perfect teams to go after.
100%.
You would think Bayer Leverkusen is like a bigger team than they are. They're like, you know, I know right now they're really hot because
from their performance standpoint, there's a reason that I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah, like these are the teams that we're talking about here: West Ham, Atalanta, and Bayer Leverkusen. This type of team where they're like, you know, they're not the big dogs, but they're always like right in the mix of like the last couple Champions League spots / Europa League spots. This is the type of for New Balance, these are like the right teams to go after. And then, you know, eventually if, you know, business picks up, maybe you can snag one of the big guys that feels, you know, doesn't feel the love from, you know, Adidas or Nike or Puma or someone like that. It looks like they will have their overall catalog of teams. They'll have Porto, Sao Paulo, Lille, and then we talked, you know, Bayern Leverkusen, Atalanta, and then West Ham. West Ham's definitely, I think, the biggest one here, just because of solely like the market.
I think West Ham, and honestly can't knock Porto too much here. I think these are all pretty big teams. West Ham for sure, though.
Yeah, and I think when we were doing our kit rankings, there were a couple of teams like Liverpool was with New Balance, and Roma was with New Balance. I liked New Balance kits. Like they always went with like a simple, nice kind of classic design. There's a couple of them that didn't hit, but I always thought they were very clean though.
Yeah,
especially the Liverpool ones.
No, 100%. I like them with Liverpool. But I think that pretty much covers everything for this week. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye, guys.
See you guys.